everyone, welcome back to Kimberly's Fabric Stash. I am Kimberly and today I'm going to show you how to put together this table topper with our embroidery machine and the quilting function. Before we begin, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can see more projects and how-tos. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed today's video. One of the things that I like best about the Elna 900 Expressive is the ability to do quilting on the machine by using the embroidery unit. So in this example, we're going to take a design that we downloaded from Embroidery Library, and we're going to go ahead and hoop the little block that I have here, the little tiny table topper, almost a candle mat size that I have here. We're going to hoop this, and I'm going to show you how, and then we're going to take it over to put it on the embroidery machine and embroider the design. Before I went ahead and laid this out, I took a piece of just scrap material and I stitched out the design here so that I know how big it would be on my quilt block. So my quilt blocks are 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, and this design comes in at 5.85 by 5.8. So actually it's 5.8 by 5.8, but the point is that this is going to fit perfectly on each of my quilt blocks. So what I've done is I've already hooped a piece of batting onto my SQ23, and the machine tells me what size hoop to use. So I've already done that. And then we're going to start in the beginning and work our way out. That way we don't have any ripples. So I'm going to lay this down on here, and I'm going to try and get the center block centered up. Now I'm going to use my notches here, and I can kind of see just by looking that this is about square. And then at that point, I'm going to take 2 of my clips, and there are magnetic sections here on the embroidery hoop for these magnetic clips. They come with the machine. And I'm going to clip this one in here. Okay. And then I'm going to clip this one in here on this side so that as it's embroidering, the embroidery the quilt is held in place and I don't have to worry about it slipping out. I'm also going to do a tracing stitch, which I'll show you once we get it onto the machine. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to tell the machine to do a tracing stitch. So back over here, I'm going to go into my screen here with this funny arrow thing. And you'll notice that it has a trace function. So this is the trace, this is to lay down stitches, and this is to lay down 2 rows of stitches. So the first thing I'm going to have it do is a regular trace. You may be wondering why you're seeing a happy face right now, and that's because when the machine did the trace function, we did actually capture the clip of the machine setting down the basting stitches. So what you're going to see next is us getting ready to do the quilting stitch, but while you're looking at the happy face, the machine was actually stitching out a basting stitch to hold the block down so it would not move during the quilting process. Now it is time to do the quilting on the block. So we're going to go ahead and turn your camera this way so you can see. And we're going to hit the start button. And then I will go ahead and stitch out the design. Here you can see a close-up of the stitched out design by the embroidery machine. And now what we're going to do, in order to do the rest of the designs, because the blocks are small, they're 6 by 6, and we don't have the ability to hoop the frame at this point without running off the edge, I'm going to show you a trick that will help you do all the rest of the blocks without having to have any issues with it going off the edge. So get a piece of may notice that there are actually two images on the screen right now, and that is because I decided to switch to the grand size hoop and do 2 blocks at the same time. In order to do both blocks, I went into the edit screen here, and I have, this one was the original on the screen, and it was centered, and I moved it down. And then I took this button here, which is the copy button. I hit that. It gave me another image, which I put directly above it. Notice that they're both lined up to the exact same way. So then at this point, I hit the OK button. And I'm going to go ahead and trace that to make sure that everything is perfectly lined up on the machine. So let me turn you over here so that you can see how that's going to trace those blocks. Okay, and we're going to hit our trace key, and it's going to go ahead and trace 2 blocks. So we're doing the middle row and the upper row, and that's going to run the length of that block, and then it's going to come all the way back down. Now, you may think to yourself, well, this is a little bit of a waste of the tearaway stabilizer, but in reality, you're getting a perfect embroidery, which is kind of hard to achieve with free motion hand quilting by yourself, unless you're a professional long armor, and then I'm sure that you have that ability. But the point is this is going to turn out really nice, so we're going to go for it. After the embroidery is done, we're going to stitch in the ditch along the both vertical and horizontal parts of our quilt top to secure the backing, and then at that point we can put the binding on and have the quilt finished. Well, that completes today's project. I appreciate you taking the time to join me. Again, be sure to like and subscribe for more ideas and projects. Thanks for watching and have a blessed day.